Crafty Babes, it's Andrea, and we're here to chat about all the ways we live our craftiest lives.
And I'm Melissa, and we're here to inspire you to craft in a way that works for you.
Yay! It's another episode!
Episode 3!
What's
I
up?
think. Episode 3?
Yep, number 3. Number 3.
Yeah, I'm so excited we're doing more. I mean, not that I ever doubted it would lead to more. We knew it would,
yes,
but we just had a really good response, and I'm excited to be continuing it.
I agree. And we're going to talk about some really fun things today. We are going to talk about the story of how you and I met, and then also how to develop crafty friendships, because we think those two things are, one thing is people probably want to know how we met, and because it's been asked a few times. And then also having a crafty friend is, I think, super important. And so we want to talk about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So why don't you start and talk about maybe your side of the story?
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure it started out when I was just kind of getting into Bible journaling, and I was following Illustrated Faith and everything they were doing on Instagram and on their blog and stuff. And you were one of their design team members or creative team members, whatever you want to call it. And your stuff was just really cool and really fun. So I'm watching your videos, and then, realized you had an Instagram account. So I was like, oh, I'll go follow her on Instagram. And I mean, you were doing all this other cool stuff, pocket page scrapbooking and personal scrapbooking, and your dog was cute and your outfits were cute and all your stuff was cute. And so I started following you and kind of commenting on the things you were doing. And I was totally curious about what this pocket page scrapbooking was, because that just wasn't even on my radar at all. And so I think I asked you a couple questions about that. And then I think you started following me back, and we ended up kind of chatting in the comments of each other's posts
quite a bit.
A lot. Just about different things like, oh, I love that too. Or what is that? Or I want to try that. Or let me know how you like it, or whatever. And so one day I don't even know where it came from. I think I had seen someone else, I think it was Mary Beth Hancher, do like some sort, can't talk. Mary Beth Hancher do some sort of pen pal letter, like a super cute, crafty, like it wasn't just like a letter on lined paper. It was really cool and really fun. And I was like, who could I do that with? And so I kind of went out on a limb and messaged you on Instagram and was like, hey, would you be interested in being pen pals? And we could just, I think I even said it something like, we seem to chat a lot in the comments of our Instagram posts. So would you want to, do letters?
Yeah. And then, it's one thing to get to know somebody over the internet. But it's another thing to ask somebody for their address. So, of course, I had been following you, but I then went and stalked you a little further on Instagram just to make sure you weren't like a crazy person. So, and I think it was you though that realized that we have husbands that look alike, which is super crazy.
Yeah. I think sometime after, I don't even know when exactly we came across that, but I think I was looking at a picture one day and they were making the exact same expression with like their same little eyebrows.
Their foreheads have the same creases, and they're both bald and bearded.
Yeah. So whatever photo it was, we'll have to kind of resurface that.
We will.
They looked freakishly alike.
Crazy.
And then kind of since then, fast forward a couple of years, I had posted a photo of us when you came to visit, and my sister was like, you guys look more like sisters than we do. And I was like, no, we do not. And she was like, I'm not even kidding.
So funny. Yeah. I mean, the pen pal thing didn't last very long, because then you needed help with something. It was the 1 second a day app, right?
Yeah. I couldn't figure out how to put my video.
Yeah, you wanted to do freestyle, because I can do multiple clips per day. And so I was like, just give me your number and I'll text you some,
I'll just screenshot you how it looks on my phone, because I just could not for the life of me figure it out. And then I think after that, it was kind of like, well, did she give me her number just to help me with this project? And then like she's going to think it's weird if I ever text her again.
Is this like, did we do this?
Yeah. And I couldn't figure out if I should only ask you advice or scrapbooking questions, or whether I should be like, hey, I'm eating Mexican food.
Which is probably how the conversation started. You probably texted me the very next day and was like, hey, I'm eating Mexican food. And I was like I love you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just, when you know it works, you know it works. Like, I think there was maybe, 5 minutes of hesitation at the pen pal thing, 5 minutes of hesitation at the texting thing. And then it was kind of like we were instantly best friends. And we had always
been.
I don't know. It just feels like we've always been a part of each other's lives. I don't know why.
It's the weirdest thing. It is so weird. And we learned a lot about each other just over those text conversations, that we have a lot of similar history.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, it's cool, but it's weird.
Yep.
So yeah. And then we actually we texted every single day. We had a super awesome streak going.
Super long streak.
And then we did an unboxing video together of one of Corey's kits, one of the Reset Girl kits.
Yeah.
We did that over YouTube, via FaceTime, which was really fun.
Yeah.
And then,
because that was the first time we had done a live interaction, I guess.
It's true. Because we never even talked on the phone before that, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, it was weird. You're like, you were a real person on the other side.
You're here, your lips are moving, and it's I don't know.
Yeah, it was so cool. And then I found out that Corey was doing workshops during a weekend in September in my area, like 30 minutes from me. And I just was like, hey, that would be so cool if you came out for that. I mean, you'd be the perfect person to come out for that. And you said, well,
that would be super fun.
Hubby owes me a vacation. And I was like, I got a couch.
Yep. Yeah, heck yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it wasn't anything other than doing the retreat, like the only other thing we said we for sure wanted to do is I wanted to go to In-N-Out.
And we did that on Friday, the day you got in.
The day I got in. Yep. We sat at the house for a second, and then we were like, okay, let's go get
time for burgers. I know.
Because we're both
oh my gosh. So. And yeah, definitely.
Yet another reason why we're friends.
Of course. Yeah. And then, so we did those, we did that weekend.
Yep.
And then pretty much ever since then, it's been like texting every day or poloing at least. I think we got, to the point where it's just kind of part of the day, it's just, and whether it's a check-in to say, hey, how are the kids feeling? Or it's oh, did you see Illustrated Faith's new printables? Those are.
Yeah. Sometimes it was really long, I have all this stuff I just need to dump off my chest. Yep. Sometimes it was crafty stuff, I'm working on this, or did you see that, like you said? And then sometimes when I couldn't get a moment to myself, it was, here are the children running around me. And Ellie saying, I want to talk to Miss Drea. I want to talk to Miss Drea. I'm Batman. And Jonah, hi.
Where's Marshall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's at school, or oh, he's playing a game, or and then Marshall will make his appearances.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, it's just kind of now my husband walks into the room and he hears me talking to myself, essentially, and he's like, are you talking to Andrea on Polo?
Yes, I am.
It's like a mock disdain, but secretly I'm like, you love it, because then that's 3 less things that I'm talking to you about
that you don't care about,
stuff that he could care less about, that are just crafty stuff. Or did you see that Alex did blah blah? And he's like, I don't even know who Alex
is. Who's that person? And I know who you're talking about.
I know. Usually know when I forget the names and stuff. I'm like, who was it that blah blah? And you're like, oh, it was so and so, and you just know you can read my.
I can.
Read my thoughts.
I totally can. And I can also, I've learned, because you like to polo me when you are getting ready to go somewhere. And typically that involves brushing your teeth. So I have learned how to interpret your language while you brush your teeth.
Yep.
Which I feel very accomplished.
Toothbrushies.
Yes.
It was something that Chad had to learn when he got married to me. So my kids are now slowly learning too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like you were such a God wink for me because I am never going to be the person that reaches out for a friend. So like you as the extrovert just like attached yourself to me, the introvert, and forced me to be your friend. And I was like, I will, yes, absolutely. That's like the only way I'm going to make friends.
Sure thing.
Yeah. You're cool. I like you. We can do this. But I just feel like God knew that we needed each other, and I feel very blessed to have you in my life. So like you said, I feel like we just were always kind of in each other's lives, but we really weren't. It's been like 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years will be our friend anniversary.
Yeah, did we decide it was May? Okay.
Yeah, I think May was like about that time.
Yeah,
so.
When you messaged me and we did the pen pal thing for like 3 letters, and then it was like, this is too slow. But we learned some very good facts about each other in that process. Yeah.
Yes, and it was cute. I still have I think did I get 1 or did I get 2 from you? I feel like I only got 1.
You got 1 from me and I got 2 from you because you sent me the last one, and then I was
texting.
Like, let's text.
Yep. Because I totally came across it the other day and I was like, oh, look.
Yeah. There was something else I was going to say
it's
too.
So
and I was going to talk about our December visit, because then
when you came
out to see Alyssa in Colorado.
Yep.
And that was fun. A really fun, super laid back, super crafty weekend.
Yep.
Yeah. And we got to hang with.
And it kind of came about just really last minute.
Like
you had a bunch of stuff going on, and I was like, well, what if you just, if you need some girl time or girl therapy or whatever, just come on out here. And you were like, I was actually just looking at flights. And I was like, shut the front door. You were not.
I was.
And then it happened. And everyone was asking, my husband was asking, are you going to take her to see Garden of the Gods? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do this? Like, no, we're just going to stay in our pajamas and we're going to pretend that the basement is a hotel. And we're going to just scrap. I mean, we both had December dailies to work on. Yeah, we did. And so we really wanted to make some serious progress and get some serious stuff done there. And we just wanted time to craft, because I never get uninterrupted time to craft because, kids and all our stuff, little kids, and all our stuff going on. And you were here. And so I knew I was going to be in a way more productive because we were both going to be working, even though we were talking. But we put on some Crafty YouTube channels
or music,
or we put on some Fuller House or music, and we swapped like who DJ'd, and we just scrapbooked, and it was so fun.
Super fun. And Jessica came to see us. Jessica brought us lunch.
Upton.
Yeah, Jessica Upton from Colorcast Designs. She lives super close to you, and she's like, I'll bring you lunch. Let me come visit. And we were like, you are in, girlfriend. Come on over.
You betcha. Yeah. And it was so good because I had thought you had met her.
Yeah, I hadn't.
And I would have never known that you hadn't, because we just all like instantly just started talking and chatting, and we were like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing, or I feel the same way, or I love
so natural again.
Yeah, just one of those things that it just clicked.
I agree. And I think it's so awesome that we have such an awesome community where we all just feel like we know each other already, even though we've never seen each other's faces in real life. But it just adds that extra personal thing.
It's so hard to explain to people, especially if they aren't really big into Facebook or Instagram. Even, my husband's like, you're what? You're someone you met? And I'm like, I just don't know how to explain it. I promise you,
like, I know them. I know him. Yes. I know her.
I just do.
I just do. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So on that note, on that topic, I think we want to do a little something fun. This is going to be something that we do every other episode. And we're going to take a little quick break and talk about a little feature that we're going to do. So speaking of crafty babes and crafty friendships, we are going to do something fun for every other episode. Alyssa, why don't you let our listeners and watchers know what we're going to do?
We are going to do what we're going to call a Crafty Babes Spotlight, where we kind of just highlight, showcase, shine the spotlight on a crafty babe that we follow, and we love her work and we love her and what she does. And I said a lot of loves in there, but that's
it's
okay.
It's a love fest.
We have nothing but love. But so we're going to be doing this, like you said, every other week. And this week I got to choose who we were featuring, and it's Melanie Blackburn.
Yay!
And I picked her because I was looking for somebody whose pocket page work I really like, because I would say that's primarily what I do is pocket page scrapbooking. And it's really, really hard for me to find someone whose pocket page work I like, because I'm just really picky about it not being too busy, but it not being all white. And she does a really good job with each individual pocket looking really good, but then keeping in mind the aesthetic of the whole page and that looking really good as a whole with little pops of color. They're not overwhelming to look at. It's not like it's journaling on every single card and every single pocket, but it's still, you still get an idea of her stories and what's going on. And I like it all wrapped into one. So she also does some other really cool stuff. I think some traveler's notebooks and some full layouts. And I just really like what she does. And she's super stinking sweet. So
I agree. I feel like the way that her designs are is that she says so much with so little.
Yeah.
She is stellar at just the way that her pages look, and her, again, like you said, her pocket pages and her traveler's notebooks are amazing. And so her Instagram handle is melblackburn05, and then her blog is opaperjoy.wordpress.com, and she is awesome. So congrats, Melanie. You get a shout out and you get spotlighted. We love your work. We love you. Welcome back to the Hey Crafty Babes podcast. And we have been talking about crafty friendships, and we're going to continue that conversation by giving you some ways to develop your own crafty friendships. And I think we both have a couple of things that we want to touch on. So I will just start by saying one way is you can wait for your extroverted friend to track you down and force you to be friends. That works.
I've heard it works really well.
It works. One of the other things that I think we both wrote down was joining Facebook groups, for the hobby that you want to be more involved in. So I think we're all familiar with the crafty the crafty places we can be, the crafty groups. Yeah. But something that people might not think about is not just communities of pocket scrapbookers, but communities of the kit clubs that you like, the products that you use, so that you're not only communicating with like-minded people about your hobby, but specific products that can inspire you. If you're using those things, you can say, oh my gosh, I have X product and I'm using it in this way. And, thank you for inspiring me. It's just, it adds that deeper level of, your love for all the crafting.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like we've done a decent job so far. I mean, our Facebook group is still very new, but we're trying to bring up some things that people want to talk about, or people bringing up some things that they want to talk about.
We love that. We really want to encourage. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, it's Hey Crafty Babes on Facebook. You just have to answer one question to be approved to get into the group. And then we're talking about a lot of things. So please come join us over there.
Yep. It's super fun.
Yeah. So and you can on different levels too learn about people, not just, hey, how do you craft? Today I asked a poll about what kind of music people would choose if they were given 6 songs to listen to, And so it's just another way to participate in the lives of the people who are doing your same hobby.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. What else do you think?
I had be the extroverted friend who isn't afraid to track someone down and force them to be your friend.
Again, it works.
Sometimes you're the person who gets attacked with that, and sometimes you're the person who does the attacking.
That's right. That's right.
But, you know, don't be afraid to message someone and say, hey, would you want to be pen pals? Or, hey, can I ask you a question about your scrapbooking? Or even just commenting on someone's something. I know sometimes we can get a little bit scared of, you know, are they going to get annoyed with me? Or are they even going to answer me? Or do they even care? Or whatever. And 99% of the time, crafty people that I've come across love answering different questions.
And we're just not like that.
Want to help. So just don't be afraid to say something to people.
Yeah. And there's go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You go.
I was just going to say there's no real hierarchy, you know, in this community. I feel like whether you have been scrapbooking forever or you're very new, I think that everybody can have some input. And I think that nobody is too popular or busy or awesome to not respond or give some feedback. You know, I feel like we're just such a close, nice, sweet community that everybody appreciates each other's being there. So again, just like, don't be afraid. Like Alyssa said, don't be afraid to reach out.
Well, and that kind of leads into what my next point was sharing your hobbies with people on Instagram, Facebook, and in real life, because I think we can imagine a hierarchy in our head. You know, we can see amazing scrapbookers and go, my stuff looks nothing like that. Mm-hmm. But I can almost guarantee you their stuff when they first started, some people before they had Instagram, social media, all these places to post things, were not that good. I mean, how many years were you scrapbooking before you shared your first anything on social media? Yeah,
a good 12 years or so.
Yeah. So and 12 years is a long time to perfect your craft.
Oh, yeah. And I would say that along the way, you know, I liked the scrapbook pages that I did at the time, and they were trendy at the time, and they were timeless at the time, or whatever. Yep. You know, they spoke of what the time was and what supplies were available and what people were doing. But I will show at some point some of my first layouts, and they are atrocious.
Well, I remember going back through awful. When I was at your house, I wanted to look through some of your earlier albums because I just wanted to see, like, what was the great Andrea Gray's scrapbooking like in whatever year I pulled out.
You probably there being 2013 or 14 or something.
Yeah. I remember there being so many of those like papery flower things.
Yes.
I was like, wow, I just would have never guessed.
So many paper flowers.
But you know,
because
like
they used to come, they came in that jar. And so they came with like 1,000 paper flowers. And
they're like enamel hearts now. I guess. I don't know.
Now it's hearts. Hearts and labels.
But yeah, so I mean, not being afraid to say, oh, my stuff isn't as good as theirs, because you may really, resonate with someone who's at the same level as you and going, oh, okay, you know, they shared their stuff, so I can share my stuff. Mm-hmm. And again, I can just about guarantee you that almost every single person you come across on a crafted community is going to go, good for you, you made time for scrapbooking, or I love, you know, they're going to find some, constructive criticism to give you on your stuff. And even if they say, hey, have you ever tried a tape runner versus a glue stick, they're going to be doing it to help and not to be ugly.
Totally.
And then I think, especially if you do those things on like your personal Facebooks and your personal Instagrams and stuff, they're going to be people who go, I never knew you scrapbooked, or I never knew you were interested in that stuff. Maybe we could get together sometime for whatever. I mean, even just since doing the podcast, there have been so many people telling me, oh, I didn't know you did that, or oh, how cool that you're doing
Wait, you mean you don't wear an I'm a scrapbooker button when you walk around town? No?
Maybe I do.
Just me?
I mean, I do talk a lot, and I do talk about crafting a lot to everyone, but somehow I miss some people. So there are people going, you know, what is Project Life, or what is how do you do that? Or how did you get started? And I'm like, let me tell you. And so
I got a story for you.
It can bring about even a local community or, you know, a broader online community that you didn't even know you had access to.
Right.
So that's kind of what I have to say about that.
All right. I agree. I think it's super important to have people in your life that can understand the obsession that is scrapbooking.
Yes.
And whether it's your family, that's fine, you know, that your husband supports, you know, you spending money on craft supplies, or that your kids like to look through your albums. Like, that's all good, right? That's totally fine. But having a girlfriend or you know, just a couple of girls, or even if it's just girls online that you are never going to be able to meet, just having people in the community that can appreciate and understand the language, the vibe,
the crafty craze,
the whole thing. Right. Exactly. So go find yourself a friend and enjoy your time. Enjoy getting to know new people. And I think that is going to wrap up our episode.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think so.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching.
Or listening.
See you later.
Bye.
Welcome back to the Welcome back. I gotta.
Now I farted. I mean, I didn't actually fart. I just. Never mind.
Okay.